So, Mark, did you see the firefighters down in the Vegas Loop tunnels, keeping us safe, practicing? Don't you feel better now?
I mean, I think it's like body rescue at that point. I don't think you're getting out of that car if things go bad. Don't you think you're just gonna be toast?
No, it's safe. Come on. Tunnels all over the world. Why are you perpetuating fear?
Do you think this will be the next calendar, the boring tunnel fireman's calendar?
Yeah, we should have our firemen, climbing, burning buildings, doing the Ferris wheel. I don't know. This could be a good calendar for Vegas.
Nothing defeats a Tesla battery on fire, though.
So let's start off the show with some big news. We've been talking about the need for this forever. I'm starting to think that Caesars executives are listening to us, but they have announced for the 80th anniversary that Flamingo is finally getting some love in the common areas. The front desk is getting redone, the new lobby bar. And then the one controversial part, they're redoing the Bugsy bar, which I don't know if that needs to be redone quite as much, but this all looks very nice, leaning into the history of this property, the tropical vibes, kind of similar to some of the other renovations we've seen recently. And I'm excited for this.
I'm just curious, where did they come up with Flamingo as the best one to pour all this money into? It just seems like they're really trying to make this a premier property, kind of up there right below Caesars when this is all said and done. High-end restaurants, we have Pinkies in there. It seems like a little bit out of place compared to what Flamingo's been for a very long time.
Well, I think maybe they realize that this location is golden for them. It's such a good location. And if they can, bring the vibes. I mean, this is Caesars, so Wall Street bringing up room rates, bringing in more revenue. That's why they're doing it. But it's nice to see some love going to a property that's not going to be luxury. It's not going to be high end. It's not going to be something like moving a tower from Horseshoe over to Paris, just like that. This is interesting because instead of just announcing a huge renovation all at once, it seems like we've had like 4 or 5 years of this.
You know the real reason, though?
What is it?
They knew there was no fixing Harrah's.
Yeah, no fixing Harrah's or Link Imperial Palace. I mean, it is the best of those. I was surprised with all the comments on the last show I talked about Disco Show, but we talked about the history of Imperial Palace and how many people enjoyed staying there over the years because, yeah, those rooms, as I said before, not my favorite, but it was a beloved property for many. And then, of course, many pointed out the German influence on the old owner, a disgusting human being, which is why we didn't talk about it too much on the last show.
Yeah, and I know that, we both kind of like the quad name, but our buddy Paul reached out and said that there's a reason why they changed it.
Yeah, I remembered this after he had said it. I remembered hearing about this. And so I went back and did some research. And Caesars announced in 2012 the change from Imperial Palace to the quad. They had bought it, I think, in '05, and they were going to tear it down and build something new. The recession happens. So the quad was announced with refreshed public areas, but no room renovations, just like I said on the last show. And then 2 years later, Link was the name change. And Quad actually happened before the Link Promenade opens. I think this is a combination of many things. Quad is unlucky because it's 4, right? The number 4 in many Asian cultures is unlucky. That's what Paul said. That is something I had heard. And I think that's probably a big reason for it because you can't have unlucky things with gamblers. I also think Link Promenade came along and was so successful that the name sort of made sense.
I still would have loved to lean into the college stuff, if not quad, maybe the dorm, maybe that's too lowbrow, or like the frat or something like that. Maybe that should be like the next big college themed casino coming to Vegas. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We've seen it work with the graduate hotels, which Hilton bought not too long ago, and they theme everything around whatever college their campus they're on and everything. It's a fun kind of throwback, and I think that would be cool, something different.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what Quad was. If you read the article from 2012 and how they talk about it, young people gathering, this was the idea. And I think it just evolved into something else with the success of Link Promenade. And I think it probably made its way to where it's supposed to be. I think it's great because, again, the Quad was very specifically, they didn't renovate the rooms because they were going for that lower end customer. And then they changed it up later. But you know what this announcement about the Flamingo means, Mark?
What's that?
We can't call it the Dirty Bird anymore.
Oh, fancy bird. The peacock.
Yeah, the bird's getting a little strut in her step. Very old, very historic. And this is good news coming out of Caesars. And I guess a reminder that they've done renovations at most of their properties now over the last few years. Caesars Palace has gotten a lot of love. Cromwell about to become Vanderpump. Flamingo's getting some love. Even Harrah's got some nice purple lighting and new rooms. Obviously, we talked about Link not too long ago. And then, Horseshoe, Paris, only Planet Hollywood.
Which is kind of crazy because that's one of the cooler properties they have. Maybe that's next up in line, but it's still the Dirty Bird when you go up to those rooms. They're looking pretty beat up.
As you say, Mark, rode hard, put away wet. Another follow-up from the F1 stuff, this went sort of viral, was people using the city's cameras, the traffic cameras, to watch the race. And they posted videos online where you could see so many angles, and it's sort of crazy. Makes you think that they're going to figure out a way to shut this down too.
I didn't really understand what the point of this was. It's on TV, right?
Well, you're creating your own cut. I guess you're seeing angles as you want to see them. But yes, you were right. It was on television.
Yeah. If it was pay-per-view, yeah, that would be kind of cool, but it's not pay-per-view. So I guess you get to see more of the race than you would because they're focusing on certain cars and stuff. It's kind of like on golf where they show the premier people on TV, but you can go, some courses will have different cameras set up that you can go watch your favorite golfer even when they're not on TV. So I guess you can follow along your favorite driver. So, okay, I'll give them a little bit of props for that.
Next year, they'll charge us $100 to access our traffic cameras just so we can get that experience.
When I saw this in the notes, I kept watching it over and over, like waiting to see somebody pull off something, or like he caught them on tape sneaking in to watch the race up close. I'm like, I'm not seeing that at all.
Today's episode is brought to you by Greg Shaft from Barrett Financial. Greg is licensed in 8 states, Barrett licensed in 48. He can do purchase, refinance. Friendly guy. Just give him a call, scan the QR code, email all your questions. He wants to make a great deal for you.
One mortgage lender that won't give you the shaft. Yeah, make sure you give Greg a call. He'll hook you up for sure.
A lot of big news coming out in this show, and let's go back to the Vegas Loop. Boring Company, they announced they did a Twitter Spaces where they announced that the tunnel to the airport is opening in the first quarter of 2026. So that's within the next few months. Now, remember, we talked about where that's going to be, just outside the airport proper, and then you will have to be transported into the airport. They did say some sample rates. Downtown to the airport, $12 for an 8-minute ride. I remember they are allowed to use surface streets for part of the ride as well. And then the airport to the convention center, $10 for a 5-minute ride. I mean, this is good. There are wider tunnels on the strip, still not open, so you can't get to the strip. And if you wanted to somehow get to Encore or Resorts World, you would have to switch at the convention center.
Yeah, it just seems like this is kind of happening fast. Like we've been waiting, and all of a sudden, okay, a couple months from now, it's going to be up and going, which is kind of surprising. I thought out by the airport might be one of the further down the line, since that seemed to be announced later on versus everything else. But it'll be cool, it'll be helpful. I know a lot of people have always wanted an easier way from the airport, and we've seen the prices of Lyft and Uber skyrocket over the last few years going to and from the airport. So this will be a big help for people's wallets too.
I will be skeptical of this only because they are not on the airport proper. So now you're going to have to take a shuttle or somehow get to where they are. And that's a problem. And then they're not going to most of the strip hotels. So I see this as like the first step of an evolution to eventually get this system up. I think they talked about, doing 20,000 riders per hour. I don't know if that's something that's possible. But remember, this is the tunnel that's running sort of down the east side near Virgin and stuff, not the main tunnels on the strip. And we are, 5 years into this. So we still got probably at least 5 more. I don't know how long do you think, if they actually build out the system, as they said, how long would you predict?
Oh, like 5-7 more years.
Yeah, it's going to be a while, but this is actually the biggest milestone I think they've hit so far, if they do get it in 2026.
Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical that it's going to happen that quickly, but we'll see if they pull it off. But this would be huge. And I think it'd be the first like super useful thing to come out of the Boring Company in this whole expansion. And you could ride over to Convention Center. You could hop on the monorail from there, do everything kind of cheap. Maybe not the most efficient way to get to your hotel, but it would probably be cheaper.
And back to the safety thing, we joked about it a bit at the top, but our local firefighters, they train on hotel buildings on how to deal with these very specialized circumstances. We've showed video of them on high roller before doing rescues, now down in the tunnels. So you will be safe. They are training and they know how to handle emergencies for all this sort of quirky Vegas stuff.
No, they do an amazing job, all jokes aside, and we appreciate everything they do for us. And they put themselves in harm's way all the time, and the tunnels could be another such situation where they go in head first and take care of it.
Yet another follow-up from a previous show, Hollywood 2.0. We talked about how that bill failed in the special session. And Mark Wahlberg says he's not giving up. He told Mick Akers at the Review Journal that it is what it is and that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we're going to keep going.
Why does he care so much about this? I don't understand. Like, he's not even the biggest celebrity out there. Does he own a part of these studios? I don't understand why he's so adamant about this.
I believe, based on just our research in the past, I didn't look it up recently, but I believe he is a paid part of this whole thing. So whether he's an ambassador or he has a small ownership stake, he is part of the the whole thing.
He's doing that Vegas influencer thing real hard now.
Hey, we don't got enough influencers here, so we need him.
Paid influencers, the Vegas way.
Speaking of paid influencers, I was looking at Plaza. They have their mystery multiplier going on right now through the end of December. And I think we talked about this last year about whether it was cool, whether you'd rather see the multiplier ahead of time or go down there to get it. But it is running. But then I saw this promo, no smoke, all fire, earn 250 points in our smoke-free area. So they're doing special promotions just to gamble in the old Brian Christopher Slots area.
I wonder if it's not doing as well after they kind of ended that partnership. Although the couple times I walked by there, it never seemed like it was super busy even when his stuff was up in there. So I don't know that it really matters. I think he drove a lot of traffic to Plaza, but I don't think people went to the smoke-free section just because of him.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's time to renovate that, open it up a little bit more, take out half the machines. The problem is it's so crowded in there, and not make it non-smoking anymore, and try to draw more business off of Fremont Street, because the entrance is right there off the Carousel Bar. Yeah, Plaza still, I mean, they have tons of promos going on. They're always doing that. We're not going to cover it on every show, but just a sign that maybe something will change there.
Yeah, just open up the whole side and bring the Carousel Bar in, basically.
As a reminder, we just dropped our merch line and we're running a special through the end of November, 10% off. You can get free shipping on orders over $50. We have the MTM Vegas Classic hat, premium fitted hat. We went with high quality materials, designed and printed here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine. Where's it at? Send it to me.
Pre-order coming before the holidays. Bring MTM Vegas into the real world. Support the show. We're really excited about this. More cool designs coming soon. Thanks to everybody for watching. So let's get in the restaurant mood, starting with Morimoto at MGM Grand. They announced a while back a renovation, and now we have pictures. It's now reopened. You can go there and eat, and it is a sexy, sexy space.
Yeah, it looks amazing, beautiful. Have you ever eaten there?
I have not. I have eaten at a Morimoto, I think, in Hawaii, just appetizers and stuff, but I have heard good things.
Yeah, it looks like a place that I definitely need to check out.
Yeah, I love these spaces. We're seeing more restaurant spaces that are unique. This is one thing that Vegas does really well, and we've talked about this before. Unique restaurant spaces, insane bars, and they have the money to spend to kind of take these spaces to another level.
Well, everybody in Vegas except for Caesars, yes.
Hey, Peter Luger is pretty nice. That's new.
Yeah, they went outside their norm. Normally it's just Gordon Ramsay 2.0, Gordon Ramsay 4.0.
Bobby Flay, baby. I love how Bobby Flay is selling the highest end steaks at Caesar's Palace and then the lowest end burgers. It just all with his name attached to it.
Guy Fieri, $20 water or whatever that guy freaked out about on TikTok.
I don't know, but $12 cronuts. I'm all for $12 cronuts. So what does that say about me? All right, so let's move on. Metro Pizza, we talk about them sometimes. The first time you and I ever had Metro Pizza together, I think you had it at Ellis Island before that, but we went to the Metro Pizza on Tropicana. We went across the street to the Pinball Hall of Fame. The Pinball Hall of Fame is now moved, and the flagship location of Metro Pizza suddenly announced that it's closing.
Yeah, that's sad to see. It was a big space too. They had quite a bit of seating and everything and good pizza. So hopefully they are moving it somewhere else, or I know they have a ton of other locations, but it's just sad to see. And both that was like a cool 1-2 combo right there, and they're both gone.
Yeah, well, at least Pinball Hall of Fame lives on. And as you said, Metro Pizza, I think, still has 5 or 6 other locations. That used to be their flagship. I mean, their original, I think, was on Decatur on the west side, but they have built some newer ones that are pretty nice, like one over here in Henderson by my house. So Metro Pizza not going anywhere. And then, of course, we talked about a couple shows ago, Ellis Island has the new Metro Pizza where you can get slices.
Yeah, and you can eat it in the really loud bar.
Or you can go eat it at the very quiet Jason Aldean's, because Jason Aldean's, we've talked about how it's struggling.
Burn.
And Vital Vegas has this rumor saying that the management company over there is out, that they are completely gone, and that Gen 3 Hospitality, this is the company behind Holstein's that just recently reopened Holstein's over in the Arts District, that they're going to be taking over. So a basic shakeup here. Very weird, but the name supposedly will stay the same. But in the response to that, I saw a few people talk about recent experiences there. One guy says, my wife and I went there for some drinks and I ordered a beer and they brought out a 24-ounce can with a lime on top of it. She ordered a glass of wine and they served it to her in a plastic cup. And then the other one said, this place was fantastic. I don't know why. When we went in the summer, we had the kids, so we were upstairs and it was unfortunately awful for drinking. No draft beer. How do you not have draft? So wine in a plastic cup, no draft beer. What the hell are they doing? We know they're charging $15 for a beer.
I'm still confused on that comment. Like, why does he say it's fantastic and then say it's horrible?
I guess the atmosphere with the kids up there. I mean, the view's cool. It's a nice space
Yeah.
and it's an interesting location.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't run draft lines up there or make it somehow easy to do. I mean, everybody has rooftop bars and things like that. It shouldn't be that difficult. And nothing worse than paying, $14 or whatever and then getting a can that you could have got at the store. So that would be annoying. And it seems like there was quite a few comments I noticed that complained about the service and said the people that work there aren't the greatest and they just don't have customer service, a good experience with the wait staff or any of the staff there. So that will torpedo your restaurant real quick.
You have a lot of competition, so you need to offer a competitive product. Brewdog is like not far from here at all with lots of draft beer, lots of choices, a good rooftop. There's other stuff coming online. So they really got to step up their game. You got to put out a good product, good service, or people just won't come. I mean, you only have a captive audience for so long. And if you're a country music bar and then there's another one down the street and another one after that, then you better be good.
Yeah, I think Old Red's been fairly busy, and it seems like everybody always says the staff is really good there. I know we enjoyed the staff at Brewdog when we were there for our event, and everybody was fantastic. So go to those two places until they get this figured out.
Or wait a year and go to Luke Combs' bar over where the Margaritaville was. I was there recently and I wanted to show you guys some video of what it looks like now. You can see some of the areas inside are gutted. Can't see like the main restaurant space, how it looks in there, but I'm pretty sure it's just all a sort of blank canvas at this point. But there's signage there. And when you're standing at a link, you're like, this place is going to be something else because that location is just so good.
No, I'm impressed with how quickly they're getting this put together. It feels like they just announced it a couple weeks ago and they're already doing quite a bit there. I still wish it was a 3-story Margaritaville with some steel drums playing. Oh, it'd be epic.
It would be, but Luke Combs, he seems like a much nicer guy than Jason Aldean. I don't know, just put it there from their public personas. And let's close with this. The stats are in, and October felt a lot like previous months, meaning that gaming revenue was up, visitors were down. Baccarat saved the day once again.
No, it's interesting to see that the gaming numbers keep going up, even though we're seeing a slight dip. And I don't think it's as bad. A couple percentage points down on all the stuff is not as bad as what people would have you believe on social media, that Vegas is dead, nobody's coming. It's down a couple percentage points, but gambling is up. They're making money there. Maybe Vegas is starting to realize they should lean more into the gambling.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem in corporate America where they're going for the more affluent clientele and they are leaving others behind in some cases. And we talk about that with prices and deals. Vegas trying to pivot on that. And yeah, I mean, the wealthy people are continuing to come. They're continuing to support the city quite a lot, but there is some hurt here. Visitors were down 4.4%. The average daily rate was down 6%. And revenue per available room was down 8.2%. And that is a big number because the RevPAR tells you how much they're making for every room, whether it's empty or full. And that is dropping a lot. So a lot of the ancillary revenues have to be hurting. But when you look at the gaming revenue, once again, saved by Baccarat, the wealthy people. But if we sort of like dive a little bit deeper here, year over year, we are down 7.6%. With enough data now, we can kind of look at this and say the 8% number that we were sort of feeling through most of this year has sort of panned out, November, December aside. So that's a lot of loss. 8% when you're talking about millions and millions of people a month is a lot.
Yeah, but they're still bringing in more money than ever to gamble, at least. Maybe not spending it on dining and all those other things that Vegas kind of built itself around, which is sad. I think that's where the regular people kind of prop up everything else, where you can come and gamble a lot, but you can only eat so much. You can only go to so many shows. You need that mass amount of people to really prop everything else up. So, but it's kind of crazy when you think about this. People come and gladly give their money away every month gambling, knowing that they're going to lose to billions of dollars. It's insane.
It's a quirk of humanity, right? Because both of us have certainly done it in our lives. So it's not like we're above the fray there. I mean, the problem with this, with the high-end gaming sort of saving everything, is that's only going to a few properties. That is not going across the board. People aren't playing high-end Baccarat downtown at the Plaza or at a million other casinos in town. They're probably playing at a handful of casinos. So over time, if this does not recover, then you are going to start to see some real pain at the lower end properties.
Yeah, I think that's why we see a lot of these promos going at lower end properties. They're struggling mightily, where, the winds of the world are still staying pretty steady and doing well. So that's the one good thing about like Caesars and MGM, is they own a variety of properties. So hopefully the high end can carry the low end for a bit, where if it was just like an independently owned Luxor, let's say, they would be struggling mightily right now, I would think.
And I do want to bring up all the stuff, all the chatter over the summer where they said the fall would be better. This is October, so this is the first month of the fall.
Oh, so you're telling me that they were lying? Oh, shocker.
I mean, these numbers, if it wasn't for the baccarat tape, which is not something that they can predict, then it seems like we're down quite a lot here. And yeah, not much seems to have changed from October from, let's say, August. I mean, very similar type of numbers.
Yeah, I think this is the way it's going to be for a while. And I don't see anything changing on that front unless all of a sudden the economy perks up a bit and people feel more free and want to spend more money. But I don't think that that's the way things are heading. And I mean, it's not Vegas alone. We're seeing this everywhere. And part of it's just coming off of all-time highs. You can't keep going up forever and ever.
And before we close, we need to do our monthly check-in on Laughlin. Visitors were up 5.7%, but the gaming revenue was down 5.2%. So where's all the baccarat players? They're not headed to...
All the poor people went to Laughlin.
They sure did. But Laughlin is up like 7% on the year. So there you go. Laughlin going strong. Shout out to the guy in the comments on the last show who says that we talk trash about Laughlin all the time because we talk about your $11 beer. Shame on him. I mean, who gives Laughlin more love than we do?
Yeah, it's just that one property, the Aquarius. They charge $11 a beer. I think that's ridiculous in Vegas, much less Laughlin. But I love Laughlin. I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, there's a whole video on the channel talking about how much we love Laughlin if that guy wants to go check it out. But let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about, the numbers. Jason Aldean's, are you surprised about the controversy there? The Dirty Bird getting cleaned up. Are you excited about that? Especially them investing amid these wider economic circumstances. Good news on that. Leave a comment. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple of days with another show. Check out our merch, mtmvegas.shop. Support us. Get that stuff for the holidays. Thanks for watching.
Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Have a good weekend.